Hey there, internets. Pixel Geek here with another episode of The Focus, the weekly web show dedicated to sharing stories from designers, creatives, developers, and entrepreneurs like yourselves. So today we have a guest named David Lundy. He's an inspiring web designer slash developer out of, where are you from again?
Indiana.
Indiana. Awesome. All right, well,
Not the design capital of the world.
yeah, I think I've heard that. No, I haven't. Okay, so you're just getting into web design, so this is a whole different side of things that I really want to hear about because I've been in the game for over 10 years professionally, and I've met, like a lot of people at this stage in their career, been jaded by a lot of things, and you look like you have bright eyes and ready to just take on the world one website at a time, right?
Yeah, it's a lot though. It's a little overwhelming to get going on though.
All right. So a little bit background story about you. Let's learn about you first. So, did you attend college?
I did for a little while for graphic design, and I realized at the time that wasn't what I wanted to do. There was very little creative freedom in the program that I was in. I was basically they gave me a task, the parameters of that task, and I would design to those parameters. And they really made me believe that design in a professional field was all about you were told to do it exactly like this, and so you did it, and there would be no creative freedom. Well, at the time, that wasn't what I was after, and so I left school, and then some things happened after that, and I ended up in a full-time job that I like, but so I started searching, and I started like doing things like building cars, and tried this and I tried that. I got a lot of skills along the way, but I couldn't really find that thing. And then one day I saw an online commercial for Treehouse, and I was like, I can do that. I can write code because I had done a little. I'd messed with some games before, and some of that was doing some basic HTML and PHP editing, not really coding but editing. And I was like, I did that and I was comfortable with it. I can do this, and so I just dove in. That was it.
Oh, wow. So I didn't know they actually produce commercials. I just
Well,
hear
it
about
was,
them on the web.
I think it was a YouTube ad or something.
Oh, okay.
So I started the commercial, and usually I'll skip it, but I didn't skip it. I watched the whole like 2 minute commercial, and I was like, I can do that.
Google AdSense is effective marketing,
Yeah.
apparently. But
It got me.
sometimes people get inspiration to a new path in their lives in so many different ways, right?
Hmm.
So you went and saw a commercial for Treehouse, and you went through all the tutorials that they gave away.
Yeah, I did a few of them, and then it was within maybe 2 days. I'd signed up for it, and I've been riding this roller coaster ever since.
Wow,
And I
wow.
just
So what is it about web design and the code and this whole industry that made you want to jump in head first?
I mean, it's huge. I didn't wasn't able to grasp how huge it was until I started dedicating all my free time to reading about it and learning about it and just absorbing. And it never ends. And the 4 months that I have been in it, it's changed even since. You know what I mean? And it's never going to end. And it's something that's always going to challenge me. I feel like, and you find inspiration everywhere, and it's something that I feel like I'm always going to enjoy.
Awesome. That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when it comes to web design, they get kind of overwhelmed by the fact that everything changes every second. Now, what makes you stay in the game that just loves the never-ending change?
I like a challenge. I accept it as a challenge. You know what I mean? I see these things changing, and I see it as motivation to keep up. Like if I'm not learning about it, then I'm not keeping up. And so, I mean, I've got a long way to go to get caught up. But then once I get caught up, it's the constant, like I said, roller coaster of staying caught up. You know what I mean? And it's a challenge to me, and I like a challenge.
When you catch up, please let me know because even after 10 years, I don't know if I can catch up.
Yeah, and
I don't want to scare you. Keep
some of that
going.
some of that's newbie delusions of grandeur, but I mean, I guess I just mean catch up to up to now. You know, the languages that have come up to this point that I've just found out about, and some of them I still learn about as I read languages I've never heard of. But there's HTML has come a long way in the past 10 years. CSS has come into the picture. Flash is now dead. I can
Yay!
I completely missed the Flash train. And so I'm not even going to focus on
Um,
that. But
be glad
JavaScript,
you did miss it.
that's what I've heard. So and once I hammer down these basic languages, I can really start focusing on picking the specific things that I want to focus on and learn from there. But I got to nail down the basics first.
Yep, yep. And man, to be in your position at this time, should it probably feels so good to know that there's so many tutorials, so many questions already answered on the internet, and so many free plugins and do-it-yourself type of things that are free on the internet.
Yeah, yeah, and I hope to at some point be a contributor to that. I'd love to get to the point where I can help people, especially while I still remember what it's like to be here. You know what I mean? I'd love to be able to help people with getting started and not having to jump over the hurdles that I've jumped over so far. And so I hope that at some point I can be a contributor to that.
Man, it's so nice to hear someone who really wants to dive in head first and just continually learning. Because there's a lot of people that just want to do it not to learn, but just to make the quick buck, or just try to get the bottom feeder type of clients or web users.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so it seems like you want to go even further than that.
Yeah, I'd love to, start teaching it, or you start go into business, running my own team, and that's something we'll get into later. But I don't, I just, yeah, I want to get to the point where I can start helping people learn from what I've learned. It's not just about the money; it's about, hi.
I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I've been feeling like that for the past 2 years or something, and you see all these. There's a lot of web designers out there that just do it for the money, and you know what? That's their thing. I can't change them, nor do I want to change them. But the people I like to talk to is your type, the ones that money's gonna be there if I work hard enough, but it's the love for the craft that's more important. So
And
you already have a good head on your shoulders, and you're gonna go far if you keep that mindset. Now, on your Twitter profile, you say you're an aspiring web designer slash developer.
yeah.
So, in this day and age, the term, or the title web designer is very broad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, both paths, web designer or developer, are very long paths. Which one are you taking first?
I feel so much more comfortable with code than I do design. Um, I would much rather follow the developer path first, but I still like to design. I feel like it's not my comfort zone design. I feel like I'm much better with numbers and writing code and all of that. But I still like to design. I like to design to have things to code, especially now since I'm still learning. I like to kind of push my boundaries with what I can design and go past what I'm able to code, so that I have to, if I design something, I don't know how to code that yet, what I've designed. Now I've got to learn how to code that.
The more you start learning something new, does it become like a video game to you? Like, oh my god, I gotta pass that level so I can get to here,
Yeah.
and then
But when in this business, a lot of times I don't know what the where the next level is. It's like a maze. I don't know what's the next level I should take. Should I do now that I've got the basics with HTML and CSS? Should I go back and really hammer down the current stuff, HTML5 and CSS3, or should I go into JavaScript a little bit and see how I feel about that before I come back and revisit CSS3 and HTML5 to stay fresh? And so a lot of times I don't know where the level is.
That's awesome. All right. So, what are your short-term goals for your career?
Definitely short-term goals would be um, learning the languages, getting the languages knocked down that I can knock down to either get into a junior entry level or entry level position and start learning from more experienced developers. Really start contributing to a team and learning from people who are much better than me. Because that I feel like that would be the best way to learn is to contribute and learn from those around me. And so, but I found that getting an internship as a non-student is a little more difficult than you might think. It's most of them are either non-paid and you get credit, or they're paid and really only reserved for college students. And so I haven't really, you know, figured the whole internship thing out, but I'd like to. I'd like to get into something.
So you're just looking for experience right now, so you can put stuff on your resume, correct?
Not so much stuff to put on my resume as I feel like I would learn much faster and much more efficiently with a team of people who are more experienced than me. Kind of drawing from them.
So you're trying to get your foot in the door
Yes,
into a
yeah.
company.
Not only that, but I feel like it'd be a faster way to learn what I'm already trying to learn on my own. You know,
All
and so
right.
it's not so much about right now about getting the job as it is learning what I need to learn to be successful at that job. I want to be if I'm going to join a team, I want to be a positive contributing member to that team.
All right.
The faster I can learn to do that, the better.
All right. What about your long-term goals?
I would like to ultimately, like I told you a little bit earlier, get to the point where I can either help teach people how to do this and pass some of the hurdles that I had to jump over and will continue to jump over, or figure out some way to either have people benefit from the skills that I'm going to learn, or maybe start a business, either designing something or have a team of designers.
Yeah.
Start a business in any business that I start. I would have a percentage of those profits go to charity.
Oh,
You know,
that's really awesome of you.
yeah.
All right. All right.
So
So, have you thought of any of the road bumps or the hurdles like you've mentioned? How are you going to deal with them, or do you see one that's already in front of you? Is it the whole internship thing, or is it something else?
I think the biggest roadblock that I'm going to run into, and people who are self-teaching themselves are going to run into, that I've found so far, is that there's not a piece of paper saying that went to school for 2 years or 4 years to learn to get taught how to do this. It all comes down to what you can show somebody and what you can make somebody believe that you know how to do. And it's doable, but it will make the path a little more difficult, and I understand that. I just don't think school is for me. I was always really bored in school, and so I don't think that college is right for me, and it may not be right for a lot of other people. But I love how in web design, you don't necessarily have to go to college to get where you want to go. You just have to have the drive and um, the passion for it.
So you're saying one of your roadblocks that you feel right now is that you don't have that piece of paper saying you went to an accredited school or have some sort of certificate saying you have trained, and you're thinking that piece of paper helps you in to more places?
Um, I I think that having a degree um, will put that not having a degree will put next to somebody with a similar portfolio, with a similar drive, will put me a bracket below them. It'll put me a second decision for a lot of jobs, unless I can really use what I know to prove otherwise. And it's not going to be undoable. It's just going to be a little more difficult to show that I can do the same things as somebody who has a degree.
Well, let me give you a life tip from me. Never went to college. Okay, I went to junior college for 2 years, but all I did was stay in the arcade room. Um, and I was very lucky to get my first job through my father. But after that, it's been my own drive, my own passion, and you have that drive and that passion. I say, don't worry or don't focus on that roadblock because that's not even a roadblock. College is not for every. This is just my opinion. Not for every industry. The web industry is ever growing, and so you can't just buy a textbook, take a class, and sit down and go with the teacher and learn stuff that was already it's already obsolete within months. Whereas the internet, when you learn through the internet, like Treehouse or going to meetups or just finding tutorials on a random blog, you will learn more than a university or a state school. So those piece of papers, at least for in the web design industry, in my opinion, mean nothing. And when you show that you have a drive and a passion for the art of web design and how you want to keep learning, it's going to take you further than a person with a piece of paper. Because in the end, your work and your passion and your personality will show during those interviews. And in the end, if they don't like you, you don't need them anyways. Seriously, it took me a while to learn all of that.
That is really relieving as somebody who's just getting into this and hasn't even started the job search yet. That is really relieving to me, and probably a lot of viewers are they're going to watch this and be wondering that question.
Yeah, you don't need a certificate. What you need is what you already have: passion, drive, and a never-ending thirst for learning new code and new design techniques. Because I mean, think about it. We just got into responsive design. It started 2011, 2012, and there's so many websites out there that aren't even responsive. So who's teaching that? Anyways. So also on your Twitter profile, you stated you would like to have your own company. So is it a web design agency that you would like to have, or something else?
At the time that I wrote that, I had a lot of different ideas for what I might have wanted to do. It could be anything from a web design agency to doing just like design logos, prints, to even like clothing. You know what I mean? Even as far as like designing, making clothing, I at one point wanted to make and sell T-shirts, and I still do. I'd still love to just like design and make T-shirts and know that people are just walking around with my design on, and knowing that people are like, oh man, where'd you get that shirt? And then they're like, well, I got it here, and then the snowball effect, and then now I got to walk around wearing this awesome shirt, and so I'd love to go into I'm not really like a fashion person.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the idea of like creating something that people could wear and walk around in, and it would incite interactions with other people, and I think that'd just be awesome. And so it could go anywhere.
Yeah, I totally feel you on that. Yeah.
Still too early to tell.
Yeah, well, good luck on that dream. A lot of people have those dreams. It's the American dream, right? To work for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
have your own hours, your own PTO and all that good stuff. Well, there's a lot of dreams, and I hope you make it. Now, this question I ask all my guests: is there any one website or app that you've recently seen that has a great user experience?
Yes, actually there is, and it is pretty incredible. It is called Ondo, and I didn't delve deep enough to know what exactly it is, because the experience of that website is so.
That preloader is
overwhelming.
Pokemon seizure status. You know that, right?
It's pretty overwhelming, but I mean, the way they keep it clean and busy at the same time.
It's definitely busy. Not gonna lie, the scrolling pictures on the left and the right, the auto scrolling pictures on the left and the right, that goes above. I think that's the nav bar at the top. Yeah. It's okay. Tell me what interests you so much about this. I just want to hear it.
When I see this website, I don't see. When I saw this website, I didn't see the seizure-inducing, background preloader. I didn't see the scrolling, solarized pictures that are just really in your face. I saw the code behind it.
Ah, okay. So I'm looking at the wrong thing. So I'll view source, but go on.
Um, it just this is just really impressive to me.
Holy yeah. There's okay.
This is just really impressive to me. The code that went into this, um, and this is what I want to be able to do. Not look like this, but
Yeah.
this is the kind of, because people remember this when they see this, and this website solved somebody's problem, and that's what it's all about. you know this was what somebody wanted, and someone had the skill necessary that a lot of people don't to solve that problem. And so I just think the coding that had to go behind this is impressive.
Well, I'm clicking into like next and previous and home, and this is intense. This is quite crazy. And where did you find this?
I found it on awards.
Awards. Did it win an award?
uh,
Was it a nominee? Was it nominated, or did it actually win a site of the day?
if I remember correctly, it won a site of the day. I believe that's where I saw it. It could be wrong. I was just going through there looking for some inspiration, and it looked really unique.
Mm.
Yeah, it was an honorable mention, May 1st,
Ah, okay.
site of the day. So
May 1st. Well, damn, dude. Well, it is intense. And I
yeah,
guess it's not my cup of tea because of. Well, I just loaded it again. I'm sorry. It's just. Now it's yellow. Holy. So it always changes colors every time you refresh. Hold on. Refreshing. Okay, now it's pink. Before it was yellow, and then before that it was white. It's damn interesting, and yeah, it's really intense. I
so
mean,
that
as a designer, I'm like, holy F, but I can see your point of view with the code, the code that makes the scrolling take control of the disco ball and the. Okay, I'm done looking at it. Ugh, I'm getting dizzy.
uh,
Oh,
good in small amounts.
yeah, in small amounts. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, before we end this interview, is there anything you would like to promote? Anything you would like to
Yes,
give a shout out to someone or?
anybody who is just getting going on it, make Code Academy, CSS Tricks, Treehouse. Make these websites your best friend. You need to bookmark them, put them at the top underneath your address bar, and use them. These are some of the best tools that I've found. I mean, there's W3 Schools. Um, there's so much out there that you can use to help, and yeah, I don't know if I would have stuck with it had I not found Treehouse, because I think just trying to surf around the web and viewing sources and reading snippets and blogs here and there, I feel like that would have been too scrambled. I needed somewhere that was um, more concentrated and more organized, and definitely Treehouse and Code Academy would be the two I would recommend starting with. So.
And I just thought of another question. For someone who is interested in web design but feels overwhelmed or doesn't have that drive or doesn't think they have that drive or passion like you, what would you tell them?
That is a good question, and I would tell them that um, it's not something that I feel like you can get into without that drive. You know, if you I feel like if I didn't have the passion that I do for it, and if it just consumes my free time, and I'm thinking about it while I'm working, and I'm thinking about it on the way home, and on the way to work, on my breaks. I'm on constantly on Reddit reading, and as soon as I get home, I open the browser. It's got to be something that you really you've got to have the want to do it, or you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to hit a roadblock, and you're going to be like, all right, I can't do it anymore. If it's something you really want to do, you've got to have it. And
Well, that's really good to hear. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Where can people find more information about you?
I am on Twitter at dlundywd, or I am on WordPress at dlundywd. And those are no spaces, no special characters. So
Okay, well, sending happy special vibes to you. Good luck in your goals, short term and long term. If you do, if you do hit one of those goals, like, I don't know, you start your own agency or something, or you finally land a job, or you got a badass freelancing gig, let me know. Let me
I
know. I
will.
would
I
love
will.
to catch up with you.
We can set up like interval interviews, and we'll I'll be like episode 43 or something. And
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Never give up that passion or drive, and you will go far. I promise you that.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Yep.